Hey guys, my name's Sam and welcome to Prep Medic. In this week's video, we are doing a full review and walkthrough of the Combat Trauma Pak Elite. Before we get started, guys, a couple disclaimers. I did get this kit and a couple other kits from Trauma Pak sent to me for free for the purposes of a video review. However, I will put up the message from the owner and I'm under no obligation to say anything nice about these guys. I don't get any money from them. And if I hate this, I'm going to tell you I hate it. So getting into this review, like I said, this is the Combat Trauma Pak Elite. It comes in a myriad of different colors and you can get it in a ton of different configurations. So the one I have here is I believe it's the Advanced First Responder kit, which basically adds a clotting gauze. If you get the Advanced LE, the clotting gauze is the LE version, which is basically just a longer muted color version of this one. So you can also buy the bag on its own if you want to fill it with your own stuff. They give you the dimensions if you want to just put something else, pack it yourself. You can save a couple bucks by taking each of these components, buying them wholesale or individually. However, I usually find buying a pre-made kit if you're going to run one and then modifying it from there is worth it to me, just to save me the time and the hassle of buying those medical supplies. So getting into this kit itself, this one is the multicam black version there. Looks kind of nice. It's 1000D Cordura nylon. The stitching is really sturdy on it, and I'm not worried about this thing coming off. So on the outside, you have a couple things. You got a chem light, can be used for marking the entrance to a casualty collection point. It can be used for marking a trailhead. You name it. Not super great for actually working under, but something that's kind of cool that they include. Now, these loops here could accommodate several different things. You could take a decompression needle and put that in there. I don't believe this kit has one in there, so you can use these loops for a couple different things there for sure. Now, you have these loops on the side, and for an extra $30, you can include an additional tourniquet, and you can pick which one you want. They've got several different Committee for Tactical Combat Casualty Care approved options. So you could fill this with a tourniquet. These ones are Velcro closures, so you can kind of expand them as you need. You could put webbing here for extrication. You name it, kind of cool, it has that option. On the other side here, I've got mine with the cat tourniquet. That's what I use professionally most of the time, and that just slips in the side, but this will fit different tourniquets if you would like something else. So it has a cheap pair of trauma shears. These are small shears. They'll work like once or twice, and then these are gonna be something you throw away. If you want a professional grade trauma shear, something that's really good, that's gonna last you multiple uses, if you are a professional rescuer EMS provider, my two recommendations would be one, the Leatherman Raptors, which I don't use anymore, or the X Shears, which are a heavy duty, lightweight piece of kit that I really like. So that can go in here. Now, this kit can be mounted a couple different ways. Number one, this pocket in the back can take, I think it's like a 2.75 inch battle belt. You could just thread it straight through there and hold it horizontally just like this. That'll work fine. Or if you're mounting it with MOLLE, it has these two basically malice clips. They're fabric malice clips that will allow you to MOLLE it on either vertically straight up and down, or you can MOLLE it on horizontally if that's how you want to do it. So a lot of different mounting options for this kit, which I really enjoy. So getting into the meat and potatoes of this kit. Now, this opening mechanism is kind of odd, and I've had it, I've opened it, and I've kind of sprayed my kit out. I haven't mounted this to anything yet, so maybe it'll work a little bit better there. But basically what happens is you pull that out, you've got this strap, and just like, you know, if you ever put batteries in something, it has that nylon strip under them, you pull it out, the batteries pop out. Same thing here. So that's the bag here. And like I said, you could buy this bag on its own. It's got a lot of different mounting options, so it might have some utility for you. Or you can get one of their pre-made kits. Now you can buy this on its own as well, which is just a medical kit in a heavy duty plastic bag. So this is gonna be waterproof, dustproof, a really good option for people that aren't gonna use their kit a ton, but might be in austere environments and don't wanna have the degradation that comes with kind of having your medical supplies out in the open. The only problem with this is that everything in here has its own wrapper. So you now open this guy. You then take this, and now you open this, and then you take the medical supply out, and then you have to open that. So every single one of those is a time suck. You have to find tabs to open it up, and when you're under stress, you lose those fine motor skills. So it's something to be aware of. Right on the outside of the kit, you have kind of an instruction card. Now, some guy gave me grief because I was saying throw away the instructions for your tourniquets. Throw away the instructions for your tourniquets. These here are really simple, easy to read, quick kind of instructions on what you should be looking at. So probably not for the professional responder, but for the police officer, for the security officer that sees maybe one injured person every year, and now you're in a gunfight and you have a buddy that's wounded, this might be helpful for you. However, in my experience, I start losing the ability to read when I get super stressed out. So it's a good reference, but might not be the most helpful for you. Coming into the bag, this is double lock bag, and like I said, this is super heavy duty. I really like it. One of the issues with the bag that I didn't talk about right there is that the supplies aren't individual. So I can't reach in here and be like, oh, I just want the pressure bandage, pull it out and use it. If I'm using one thing in here, besides maybe the gloves and the survival blanket and the duct tape, I'm using everything in this kit. So just be aware of that with this. So we've got some gloves, some PPE right here, North American Rescue brand. I would recommend taking these out of the wrappers and then putting them back in your kit, because I've had a couple of these that are so tightly packed. I bring them out, put them on, and they break almost instantly. So just be aware of it. You've got a small roll of duct tape. Duct tape has a ton of utility for different things in the medical scenario, or just fixing a piece of gear, you name it, nice thing to have. Survival blanket. So hypothermia kills. It's even on this sheet right here. It's saved. So stop the bleed, open the airway, vented chest seals, and I think that's a stretch for an acronym. And then you've got prevent exposure on it. So this is preventing exposure. Remember to insulate under this. Just the survival blanket isn't going to keep somebody warm. Another pair of those gloves in there. So you have a small version of this card. Now this looks like it's kind of for a school shooter. You know, you've got a bleeding control pack for, you know, a school and office, and it's kind of the run, hide, fight, you know, what you should do, what order of operations you should have if you have an active killer in your building. So just a quick reference card that comes out pretty easily. As we come into the kit a little bit farther, we've got the vented chest seals, hyphen vented chest seals. These are what I use anytime I can. I like them because they're small, they're compact, they last a long time, and they're very easy to apply. Plus the laminar valve has been shown to be very effective in these chest seals. Coming into it a little bit farther, we've got a Sharpie, tons of uses. It's even a branded Sharpie, which is kind of cool. We have an emergency elastic wrap. So tons of uses for this. You can use this to secure a splint. You can use this for a pressure bandage or to wrap wound pack in. You name it, tons of uses for this guy right here. You could even probably wind that tight enough to occlude blood flow in certain situations. It's kind of a similar concept to the stretch wrap and tuck tourniquet, which is in here. So not TCCC approved. It has a lot of issues with it because it's hard for self-application, but it's multi-use. So you can use this as a tourniquet. You can wrap it really tight. I've had experience with it. I've used it before. It does work. However, I would always have one of these guys on hand with it. This will also work as a pressure bandage, a sling, or you can just use that as a rubber band and hold things together if you really want. So that's in there. You've got a thing of quick clot. So the only difference between this quick clot and the LE quick clot that the other kit comes with is that this is shorter. I'm not entirely sure how much shorter, but I think it's a couple feet. So you have a little less wound pack here for it, but it does work. It's the same active ingredient in it as your tactical looking version. It's just keeps the cost down a little bit. And then last but not least, in this kit, you have a North American Rescue NAR Mini 4-inch compression dressing. So this is just a padded compression dressing. If you have somebody with a head wound, leg wound that doesn't need a tourniquet, you can wrap that up, keep it nice and clean to keep it from getting dragged through the dirt. So once again, another nice thing to have. You know, all in all, this is pretty standard contents for a kit. The things I do like is the elastic bandage. You don't have that in a lot of other kits. I also like the duct tape and the chem light are kind of different things there. It's cool that they have these reference things here, but if we're looking at a professional kit, I hope these aren't things you would necessarily need. This seems more geared because this is their general kit towards the, you know, active killer situation in a school or office, something like that. So it's cool to have. It doesn't take up any space, but not something that necessarily needs to be in the kit. Right there. One thing I forgot to mention, guys, is Trauma Pak will actually replace any items that you use in the kit to save a life for free. So that's kind of a cool deal there. All in all, like the kit. I think it's really high quality. I'm really excited to show you some of the other kits they have that are more for the law enforcement officer, for rapid response kits, leg kits, things like that. So stay tuned for those and more reviews. If you have any questions about this kit or anything I talked about, leave them in the comments down below, and I will see you next week.